After quite a bit of research, I ordered this Metabo HPT 12-inch slider from Amazon and then left it in the box for 6 months. Time to get it out, see how accurate it is, and if this is a really good value miter saw. I've heard different opinions from it's as good as the top of the line ones like Bosch, Makita, and Festool to it was terrible out of the box and I sent it back. So let's see what we have, cutting up some scrap and checking accuracy. And I have a quick little 2x4 project I need to knock out quickly. This saw was $300 on sale and they were selling out of box stores at the time. They were clearing out for the newer model, which looks very similar and currently only $350 through Amazon. The Bosch is around $550, Makita around $850, very highly rated. And I don't even want to look up Festool Capex. Okay, I had to, and wow, $1,600, mercy. After some basic setup and checks, but no adjustments, the upshot is that this is really nice, but there are some accuracy and fine tuning you should know before purchasing. I was pretty impressed with my first cuts. The cut quality was impressive and the cuts were dead on 90s using the machinist square and the saw on the out of the box detents. No tear out in the standard base plate. Pretty happy, but I noticed a couple things as well. The saw is massive. I was hoping for the forward facing sliders that would save space, but no chance. All that space is used up for the laser, dust collection, and dual bevel setup. Okay, I may have exaggerated a little bit. I pulled out my old 10-inch slider, and the new saw does save you a few inches of depth with the cutting surfaces aligned. Overall, they are about the same depth, but obviously with the newer Metabo, you're getting a lot more cutting capacity. Then, while the saw seemed to be square, the angle markers weren't quite on zero from the angle I will look at them. A half to a degree off. And I don't like the extenders. When tightening the right side down, it lifted the extension up above the surface of the saw. Not quite sure how to fix that properly at the moment. The left side was fine. Talking quickly about the setup before going through some of the more challenging performance tests, obviously start with the manual please. These are high-speed, 4,000 RPM rotating blades. They can be dangerous. Take your time and follow the instructions. From the manual, I learned that the laser is set up to mark the left side of the blade out of the box, and the bottom insert, despite having a larger gap, will need adjusted side to side for bevel cuts. A zero clearance insert may be in my future. Also, you do have to cut through the guard on the first cut, and once you do, this will allow the saw to slide all the way back. I'm just using the provided blade. There may be better blades that I should be using, Makita, maybe Diablo. Let me know in the comments if you have a recommendation. I also double checked that the blade was tight and the deflection seemed normal, then set up the wings or extensions the best I could, and I hooked up my Cyclone shop vac, although not ideal, but it will work. I also clamped the snuffleupagus to the back of the table to a 1 horsepower dust collector, and hopefully it'll catch what it will. Miter saw dust collection is a challenge, but I'll do what I can with what I have. I don't rely on a miter saw much, so I won't do a dedicated table and hood because it just takes up way too much space in my workshop. I hooked up this auto vac switch and then took 3 trigger pulls to remember to turn on the vac and get the box set to auto. Made that harder than it needed to be. Pretty standard, but it's nice once it's set up. So with everything set up, I went ahead cutting up my 2x4s and knocking out my quick engine stand project. These outboards are headed to my shed. They didn't need to be lying around my shop collecting dust. I do recommend getting a feel for the saw on a basic project before diving into something that requires high accuracy. So let's get into that more detailed stuff. Using some scrap 3/4 red oak plywood, let's recheck square and get this digital angle gauge going. The angle gauge is helpful and suggests maybe a half a tenth off, but the tolerance is plus or minus 0.2 degrees, and clearly the 90s are well within that. And with the machinist square, they look right on. Going vertically with the saw on the plywood, there it does appear to be slightly off. Maybe slightly off with the machinist square, and the angle gauge is a tenth and a half or slightly more off. The machinist square on the blade looks pretty good. The bevel adjusts both ways but has a stop that sets the location. I grabbed a 3.5mm Allen to work the adjustment. I did some trial and error adjustments trying to get this dialed. I made a small improvement, still off about a tenth and a half. I tried cutting the other way and both the angles are the same. So maybe very minor blade deflection, or maybe the surface isn't quite flat holding it to one side. With the plywood across the plate, I'm still showing a tenth and a half off. Smaller than 90 degrees on both sides. So maybe very minor blade deflection or just a measurement. they look pretty much right on with the machinist square now. For a long straight cut, it's dead on from what I can tell with the straight edge, large machinist square, and framing square. No issues. Checking the miters, again, they look good and appear good with the miter square, maybe off slightly with the angle gauge, but again, we are scrutinizing below the accuracy spec of the gauge. You can maybe see the cut isn't perfectly straight, and that's just likely that I'm comparing to the cutoff that wasn't secured, so that probably happens as the blade comes up. Going the other way again, and really good performance. And some bevel cuts, again really nice. Noticing some tear out with this plywood, but nothing that I'm too concerned about. The saw had stops for both bevel directions at 45 degrees. Overall, the accuracy is quite good with minor fine tuning that I showed you. If there is some blade deflection, tall vertical cuts could be a challenge, but there may be better saw blades for that type of work too. I tested out the depth stop to see how consistent a cut it would make. I wouldn't recommend this for like half laps or something like that. You would need a different blade to get a smooth cutting surface. You would need to build an extension on the back to bring the cutting surface out 3 inches, maybe more, to make a flat surface for something like half laps. So there are probably just better tools for that. They do make a battery option that I believe comes with an adapter plug to plug into a wall, but wow, it's salty, $650 for the tool only. For the newer model that is $350, it looks like the same basic components. They changed the top knot to include the blade nut cover. The angle adjustment handle looks updated, but the specs all appear similar. The bevel gauge is moved to a better location, and it looks like the blade guard at the back is gone, which seems to be good in my opinion, but maybe I could just remove mine. So is it the best value miter saw? Well, it's the best one I've worked with and set up. My old saw was a cheaper 10-inch slider that was ridden hard and put away wet. The Metabo is good. The cut quality and tear out is impressive. Most of the cuts are right on. Some adjustment of the pointers and bevel stop helped. The wing is a little bit of a concern, but I'm sure that there are workarounds to solve that versus a much more expensive saw, possibly a separate support or adjusting the current mounting area, or even trying to sand the top flush. For $350 to get a dual bevel forward slides and this cut quality, I'm happy. If you compare to other saws in the price range, I don't hear great things about the accuracy from the rigids, although that may be model dependent. The Hercules is at the same price, but it has the rear sliders and only a 90-day warranty versus 5 years for the Metabo. If you're thinking about buying, please check out my Amazon link in the description for this saw, some competitor options I've mentioned, and other tools used in this video. If you want to see more about the automatic dust collection switch, please check out this video. I hope it was helpful. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching.